Have you transitioned all the way?
In what way do you mean?
All the way.
What way?
I mean, do you no longer have a...
I don't know about that.
So you just went to the bathroom,
Yes.
right? And I saw you post something about this.
Yes.
What bathroom did you use? Female or male?
I
feel like where transgender people went wrong is where they're like, no, I am a woman. I want to say something, dude. Before we start this, I feel like just us being in this room, having this conversation is important.
Yes.
A lot of people are afraid to have these conversations. You know, they're not confident enough sometimes. And I feel like humans as a whole need to have more of these conversations because misunderstandings is what's taking us to the extremes, like war and other fucked up things, you know? And the highest levels of people get together and they have discussions, right?
Yes.
Sometimes a discussion could stop a future war that it's supposed to happen, you know? So I'm excited to have this conversation and get to know more about you and who you are and how you came to be.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
so you are a transgender.
Yeah, I'm a transsexual.
Transsexual?
Yeah.
Why do you say it like that?
Because I feel like nowadays being transgender is more of an umbrella and it covers all these different identities, which nowadays a normal like cross-dressing male can identify as transgender and that would be like valid by the umbrella.
Yeah.
And I don't really identify myself anymore with like transgender. I feel like I'm a transsexual. Like I had to transition from male to female and that's it. And just to blend in and live a normal life.
Yeah. I wanna go into the moment when you started feeling different, right? When was that moment when it shifted and you just didn't feel the same?
I've always been like myself, like always like expressing myself like naturally, like super feminine. And obviously like everyone around you, especially like Latin families, they will correct you. They will tell you what you should be doing. And I really didn't understand that because I was like, I'm just being myself. Like I don't know what's wrong either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously like going to school, you see like how people treat like the boys and the girls and how they like separate them. And that was when I was like, okay, like there's something different here. Like I'm really like not the same as everyone else.
How old were
you
you?
know? Like super young, like probably like 6, 7.
6. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think you got influenced by anything or was it just what you were?
No, I had no influence. Like I had like good male
Samples.
yeah, male like samples
okay.
and also like woman in my life. So I never really seen like anyone gay in my family or anything like that.
Okay.
So, and obviously whenever I was outside and saw people that were trans or gay, obviously like my family would be like, oh no, that's bad. Like you never want to be that, you know?
And how did you feel inside? Because you felt different. How did those comments make you feel?
Well, it obviously made me feel like I had to walk on like eggshells.
Yeah,
like
true.
if I walked around with my hand like this, I had to like put it down. If I was moving my hips too much, I would like be like, okay, like walk straight, like talk more masculine, you know, try to like fit in to like be like the other boys. But at the end of the day, I went back to my bed and like I could be myself at home, you know?
Do you think that oppression made you go even harder at what you really believed in?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think would have happened if at a young age somebody would have supported you to the fullest and would have been like, oh, you can be whatever you want? Do you think that would have changed things or?
Yeah, I feel like that would have made my childhood a lot easier just to like express who I am and like be myself since always without having to like all these traumas and trying to educate people and trying to find out by myself what I was dealing with and like what I had to do, you know?
Yeah. For me, it's very interesting because, I was raised, I always felt like a boy.
Yeah.
I always loved women. I always thought it was cool to be a man, right? And it's still to the fullest. But to hear from another man that felt that way, it's really hard for me to just wrap my head around that. It's like, how does that happen? And I am nobody to say anything because I haven't been through that.
Right.
How did your parents take your decision to become transsexual?
They took it like pretty hard. Like they didn't understand what was going on. They started to like assign me like therapists and stuff just so I could have someone like to talk to about everything that I was dealing with.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, they weren't so supportive. They were trying to like make that phase like kind of go away, but it was never a phase.
Oh, wow.
I feel like I was always like pretty sure of who I was ever since a young age.
Do you think, because 12 years old is very young.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's young. Very young. And I feel like I don't have a problem when people, 18-year-old and older,
right?
They can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Your body, it's your life, it's your perception. You take control of it, right?
Yeah.
Nobody should have a say in that. But as a kid, I feel like that's where, especially the transgender community, has pushed the boundaries a little too far when it's going into the kids. Okay. I feel like it's not fair. A kid, I didn't even know what I wanted when I was 13 or 12 years old.
Right.
I think I had an idea, but even at 30 years old now, I still like, I barely have like, oh, this is me.
Yeah.
So it takes a very long time to know who you are. And when it comes to transgendering or transitioning, you could hurt yourself for the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah.
There's been cases where a man who transitioned into a woman didn't want to be that at 20 years old.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then now he's stuck in a place where how do you reverse that?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the hardest thing for me is we should let people go through the puberty. We should let people understand. And at 18 years old, that's when you can make any decision you want.
Yeah.
Because then you become an adult. You take control now. What do you think about that?
As for me, I always knew that I was like a girl.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to present to society as a woman, like as a girl. Like I was a very like shy kid and very rebellious because I couldn't express myself. I couldn't like be who I wanted to be. And also like I had no knowledge of what being trans was. So I was like, I just want to wear girls' clothes. Like I just want to like wear makeup. I want to paint my nails. Like I wanted to do these things which necessarily like can start a social transition, but not like getting hormones and stuff like that. Because I feel like, especially like younger trans kids, it's okay if they like socially transition. If they like want to wear a certain type of clothes, like why are you limiting them when they're telling you that that's how they feel?
It's just when we talk about the hormones thing,
Yeah.
where it's like, or even the surgeries,
right?
That's when it gets really hard. And
Yes.
it's like, when you defend that, I feel like I can't be a part of that,
Yeah.
And I feel like you're not in that position, right?
I started hormones at 17.
Oh, okay.
So I was already a teenager, like young, but
17, it's almost 18. So you already knew what you wanted.
Not that young. Like I've been begging my parents for me to start hormones since I was like 14. And they didn't came around until I was almost like 18.
Yeah.
They had that same mindset. And I feel like I'm grateful for that. But also I wouldn't have dealt with so much depression if it wasn't for it.
Well, that's the funny thing, Barbin. A kid will deal with depression no matter what. Every kid knows that you've dealt with something, right? And when you turn 18, you even deal with more. It's called life. You just deal with shit, right?
Yeah.
So that's the hard thing about being a kid, that even if you like didn't have thoughts of, wanting to transitioning and everything, you still would have had a hard time in life.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like whenever you're trans, you deal with something that's very real, which is gender dysphoria, which is the misalignment between like the brain and body.
Yeah.
Making all those masculine features, especially like for me when I was young, just like pop out so much more.
Well,
and I used to be like, okay, I don't want this.
I love that you talk about that though, because it's at the end of the day, I feel like that's what it is, you know? And you have this thought of like, you don't want this. It's not like I feel like where transgender people went wrong is where they're like, no, I am a woman. Where it's like,
Yeah.
do you know the difference between a woman and a transsexual or a transgender?
Oh, absolutely.
See,
I mean, there's clear differences between woman and transsexual woman. I'm never gonna be like, oh, I'm a woman. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Because I'm a transsexual woman. Yeah, in a general aspect, I am a woman. But when it comes to like the nitty gritty and stuff like that, it's not the case, because I wouldn't have like transition or had gender dysphoria or anything like that. Like,
yeah, it's a very difficult topic because, you know, I have women in my life that I respect so much and I care so much about. So, and I've seen them go through things that I could, no matter what, I could never go through.
Right.
So when I see another man probably thinking that they're the same as that or they're that, then it's like, I'm like, what? There's no way, right?
Like another man, like you see trans woman as men.
No, like me seeing like a transgender saying, "Oh, I am a woman," not realizing that you're transsexual, you're trans woman, right?
Yeah.
And that to me, I'm like, because you've seen the transgender say, "Oh, we have periods too."
Yeah, no.
And I'm like, oh, no, come on. Like, let's be serious, right?
That makes no sense.
And I feel like that's the reason why I even had you on the show, because I feel like you're more of an educated transsexual person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That it's not fair for people to just be delusional and to act like certain things are facts, but they're not. You know? So
I would say that I'm pretty logical. Like, I see it for what it is.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Like, obviously, like, I will never be a biological woman, but I don't want to be that because, I mean, did I look up to women for my transition? Absolutely. And I still do, you know? But I know that at the end of the day, I had a different experience. I have a different story. So the things that I've been through, women haven't been through.
Yeah.
And what women go through, I will never experience that. And I'm okay with that because I'm happy with myself. I accept who I am.
Yo, shout out to that. Like, for real, yo, period. God damn. So
it's okay if I use the bathroom. I need to pee so bad.
Oh, yeah, you can.
I'm sorry. I've been trying to hold it in for the longest time.
Oh, that's all good. So you just went to the bathroom.
Yes.
Right? And I saw you post something about this.
Yes.
What bathroom did you use? Female or male?
I used the men's bathroom. No, I'm just kidding. No. I use the woman's bathroom. Like, I feel like it's logical.
Okay. Why do you think that's logical?
Because look at me. You like, people are not blind. Like, they cannot just like let women like myself go to a men's bathroom and think that that's gonna be like plain and simple and just like that, you know?
Yeah. Have you transitioned all the way?
In what way do you mean?
All the way.
What way?
I mean, do you no longer have a penis?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
No, but I mean, I don't walk around naked. Like, I don't be going around showing people my genitals.
Do you think it is dangerous for a transsexual to go into a men's bathroom?
I do.
Why is that?
Like, many men already sexualize transsexual women. So if you put a girl like me in a men's bathroom...
Yeah, I feel like that'll be dangerous because you do look like a woman. Yeah. So it would be really hard for, especially... I feel like nowadays...
I mean, I bet it would be fun, but like, no. Like, I don't want to do that to myself. You know
what do you think it'll be fun?
I mean, I'm just playing, but... but... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's not safe.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Like, same as, like, if you put a trans man that looks exactly like you don't know what they may have down there, but that looks like you and presents in society as a man.
Yeah.
If they go to a woman's bathroom, that's gonna cause a big commotion. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, because then it's a man in there.
Yeah, like why is a man there with muscles and like beard in a woman's bathroom? If a little girl sees that, what are they gonna think?
I feel like it's funny. A lot of people don't speak about the women who transition into a man.
Right.
And
they're a little bit less problematic.
Yeah.
And also I feel like a lot of people just focus on like trans women. I don't know why. Maybe misogyny. I don't know.
Oh, damn. Do you think, what do you think of the idea of making a third bathroom?
I think it's great.
Really?
I think that people that necessarily do not fit into like the woman or men like category, like socially acceptable, they should be able to like use those kind of bathrooms. Like maybe a trans woman that just started her transition still presents male. I feel like that person cannot go just straight into the woman's bathroom.
Yeah.
Because I remember, even though I started my transition pretty early, I went to school and I was like, basically, I never came out as gay, never like that. And I started to like wear makeup and just be looking like a boy, really feminine, you know? And then I was like, okay, I'm trans.
Yeah, it's really difficult. The internet is really hard nowadays because I've heard of stories and I've seen where they say that there's forums out there where forums, you know what that is? Like pages where people speak to each other. Yeah. They talk about certain different things. Like if you don't like your voice, that means that you might be transsexual.
Yeah, no.
You know,
there's so many like little things that men and women have that doesn't necessarily means that they're trans. It can literally mean that you're just a feminine man or a more masculine woman, and that's okay. If you don't have like the feelings of wanting to portray the opposite gender that you were born as, and you have that intense like gender dysphoria, then you're not trans, you know?
Okay.
I feel like a transsexual person, they're gonna transition. There's some
nobody's gonna stop him. Nobody's gonna stop him.
Some form of, maybe they realized younger, but other people realize later on in their life because...
Yeah, and this is why I feel this conversation is so important, because there is a man here, you know, that I've always been a man and I've always been super confident of what I am. Yes. And that's the reason why we're doing this, because I'm not afraid of what anybody has to say about this. But there's, you know, what some may call a man as well who never wanted to be a man. You knew you were a woman, like in your mind, you know? So we don't have to have the same perception. We don't have to agree on certain things, but just speaking about it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's what you're going through. That's what you feel. Absolutely. I feel like that's the important thing.
Yeah.
And like you said, transsexual people will fucking become transsexual no matter what. Yes. Even if like, you know, after 18 years old, you got your right to be whatever you want.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is the toughest thing, where society right now is like oppressing this people like you, that it's like, don't.
Yeah.
Soon enough, it's going to, what happens when you oppress people so much?
They're going to be on top at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Like, I feel like if you are a transsexual, you'll always be a transsexual. Even if that means that you're married, you have a wife, you have kids. If it's inside of you, like sooner or later, it will happen, you know? And that's fine. Like, I mean, I'm sure it will be like extremely hard for a family and a wife and kids. Like, that's insane, but it's alive. It is what it is.
The truth comes out no matter what. And that's the hard thing. I feel like a lot of men nowadays that push so hard against, you know, transsexuals and transgenders, I feel like they probably have something that they're hiding.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, why are you so mad at them?
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me.
I feel like people project their insecurities into others, you know, especially if you don't know who you are, you're not comfortable in your sexuality, maybe you're going to bash and like be hating on it, but you will probably go back home and jerk off to it.
Damn. Hey, I feel like there's a lot of men out there who do that.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I feel like most men that speak the loudest and that bash like transsexuals, and they're like, oh, that's a man, oh, that's a dude.
Yeah.
They're the first ones that are like, why do I like it though? You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I feel like that has a lot to do with society and the way that
Yeah, dude, that's so
we
true.
put men in a category and also women.
Yeah,
know?
because I've had a lot of people who don't like me at first for my opinions and things that I say, and a year later they like me. It's like, wait, so you were hating on me,
right?
But deep inside you were just admiring me. You just didn't understand,
right? And they didn't know you like that.
Yeah, exactly. You know? So I feel like a lot of men are like that, where it's no. It's like, it's okay to be curious and it's okay to be confused, but it's not okay to bash on somebody.
No, because at the end of the day, you're projecting.
Yes.
Like, I feel like one thing about humans is that they're extremely judgmental.
Oh,
and they will mirror their own life into other people. So
yeah, that's so true.
A lot of projection goes on when stuff like that comes to the table.
Yeah. At what point or what level do you consider a person a transsexual person?
Whenever they take hormones and are actually like doing things to like physically represent what they want to be inside, you know? Like, I'm not saying that transsexual women need to have like surgery and the big ass and the big tits and all of that, because some trans people only need like hormones and they can live like a normal plain Jane life and they're gonna be fine, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like having that gender dysphoria and acting upon it, like wanting to transition and wanting to be seen in society as the person that they want to be seen, I feel like that's a transsexual.
Okay.
Like someone that actually like, I don't know, like goes like straight for like action, like wanting to transition, like putting the effort to it.
Because then we go back to that, or maybe you're just gay, you know?
I mean, yeah, but
if you don't take the action of, like you said, getting on hormones and changing your look,
absolutely,
then you're probably just gay.
Yeah. Like you might be a really feminine gay man, or you might be a really butch like lesbian, you know? But yeah, there's so many ways to like be a man and so many ways to be a woman that I don't know. I feel like transition is a big thing. It changes life overall in every aspect of it. So I don't know, like sometimes people need to embrace exactly who they are, like not trying to like feel pressure to do something because they think it might be best for them. Is it do you think it's gonna be best for you, or do you know it's gonna be best for you, you know? So I feel like the pressure sometimes can get through people, especially if they're not like strong in their mind, you know?
So what do you think about those people once they transition and then they said, oh, I fucked up?
I feel very sorry for them. That's insane. I cannot imagine like they're gonna be fucked up for the rest of their life,
for the rest of their life,
mentally and physically, if they like go too much overboard. And I mean, if you're trans, you're gonna be trans forever. If you're not, sooner or later it's gonna catch up to you and it's gonna be worse.
Yeah, and I think that's the hardest thing for me, especially because kids get so influenced, right? It was different for you because since the beginning, you knew what you were, right? A lot of kids, they might be alone in their room. They're depressed. They don't know who they are, because a lot of us are like that, right? They find a group of people that are a certain way and they try to become like them because they feel welcomed. Right. Yeah. And there's been a lot of studies where they show kids who they're very happy once they post it. Oh, I decided to transition, or I came out the closet, or anything, right? And then they get welcomed by this group. But once they're in the group, they, you know, like all of us, sometimes we don't like certain things, right? And then they're stuck in a place where like, oh, what the hell did I do?
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like that's even a crazier topic that should be talked about.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, that is terrible. And I feel like people that are like that, like they might deal with different like mental illnesses
Yeah.
other than gender dysphoria, you know?
Do you think
And
gender
that's
dysphoria is a mental illness?
I don't know if it's a mental illness, like, oh, you're crazy.
Hmm.
But I definitely think like it's a mental thing. Like,
We're all crazy, dude. We're all crazy.
well, I remember when I was younger, I read this book by Dr. Harry Benjamin, which is a medical transsexual book. It's called The Transsexual Phenomenon.
How old were you?
I think like 17, 18.
Oh, okay. So you were.
Yeah.
That's when you were already thinking.
Yeah. Like I already knew what's up. And I read that book and it basically like had experiences and studies and social experiments from literally like the 1910s until the book was published in like the 1960s.
Yeah.
So it was like a real thing that was backed up by like science and like doctors around the world, you know? The transsexual phenomenon is the medical textbook published by American endocrinologist and sexologist Harry Benjamin in 1966 with the Julian Press. The text is notable for its examination of transsexualism, not as a psychological issue, but rather as somatic disorder. You know?
What's a somatic disorder, though?
That it needs to be fixed through medicine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, but that's hard, though, because a mental illness does need to be fixed through medicine as well.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like, it's not going to be like a disabling thing.
You
know?
can still live your life 100%.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to live a really sad life, but you can live a life, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, mental illness is tough because some people can't live in society.
Right.
You know? And I feel like that's when it really becomes hard when the person doesn't understand like you do. You know, that it's like,
oh, yeah.
It's like, this is what I believe and I'll go to the grave with it. It's like, no, I feel like you should take time to understand things, read a book like you did and try to understand things.
No,
you know?
Whenever I was younger, like, obviously, there's a lot of outside noise and being like, oh, are you sure? Like, are you just not like a feminine boy? Like, all these things. And I'm like, no, like, I know. But I'm like, okay, how do I back it up? I literally like I read books. I literally like see the reality of it medically and like everything that has to do with it because that's literally validating that I'm not doing something weird or something out of this world. It's something very realistic.
Do you think the gay community and the transsexual community fuck with each other, or is there a beef going on?
I think so. Like
really. Because I've heard, you know, in social media and everything, I've heard some gay people be like, oh, they think they're too good for us or something like that.
I know that, like, sometimes, like, a lot of gay men, they would think, too, that, like, being transgender is not, like, a real thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like, I mean, I've never had any, like, bad experience with, like, gay men. I love my gays. Like, I work at a gay nightclub, so I'm always like, surrounded by them. I
went to a gay club once with my girl because we had broken up and she wanted to go and I was like, fuck, okay, I have to go, right? So I went and it was very, very uncomfortable for me, but it was cool to just be like, oh, there's another perception of people.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just like, I was trying to get my girl the whole time and people looking at me, guys looking at me, I'm like, oh shit, what the hell is going on? Like, I've never felt like this, you know?
Yeah.
Then I feel like how women feel when they go into a club and all the guys are staring.
Yes.
I was like, God damn, this I never went back, but but it was just a really interesting experience, you know? So
I feel that.
I got her back though. I got my girl back, so
good. Yeah, I love that.
So what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say that like I've been to like gay clubs. Sometimes I would go on dates. Like with guys, and I'll take them to like gay clubs, and they would feel literally the exact same thing. It's like they don't feel comfortable.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
Wait, did they know that you were transsexual?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
I most of the time I tell them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean by most of the time?
Like if I'm interested in you and attracted to you and I want to go out with you, I'll let you know. If I know that maybe there's like sexual chemistry, I will tell you. But if I'm just like meeting you randomly and just like talking casually to see if we connect, like I don't feel like I have to come up with the intro like, oh
Yeah.
hi, I'm Mia and I'm a transsexual. Like interactions don't work like that.
Just like when you don't fall in love with somebody in the first date. You know, you don't tell your
Right.
deeper secret
Yeah,
to
you're not
somebody.
gonna tell them your trauma in the
Yeah.
first day. I'm being generous.
No.
I'm
Yeah.
letting you know.
Yeah. So, do you think there's a lot of closeted men who like transsexual, people, but they're afraid to come out?
Yeah, I don't know if there's even like a coming out, but yeah, there's a lot of heterosexual men that loves trans women and they're attracted to trans women, but they necessarily may not know how to deal with that and how to navigate that.
Yeah, because I've seen some people, they look at a trans woman and they're like attracted. They're like,
Right.
damn, that girl's hot. And then somebody says, oh, that's a guy. And they're like, oh, shit.
Oh,
And it's like, it's so weird to think that this guy is attracted to this person, but because
A little label.
there's something in between there, they're like, oh shit, I can't do that. So that I feel like that's the hardest thing for men nowadays, that they're just confused nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Like, I feel like if you like women, if you like beautiful women, like you're gonna be attracted to transsexual women regardless. It really might depend what actions do you take after you find out.
Yeah.
But the attraction, it's not gonna go away. Like
Yeah.
your boner's not gonna go away. But
Yeah,
it is what it is.
it
Like
is.
I respect if men like they think that I'm attractive and then I tell them and then they're like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I respect that because they may not be comfortable in their sexuality or their attraction. And
Yeah.
I would never want to hang out with the guy that's confused or trying to experiment just
Yeah.
because they don't know, you know?
Have you ever had somebody you really liked and then they're like, oh no, I can't do this because of this?
Yeah, I've had some.
Was that tough?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's tough like when you like someone, like
Yeah.
maybe like they like me too and they're disappointed as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I understand. That's why like now I try to be like more upfront and be like, it is what it is.
Do you have a lot of married men on your DMs?
Yeah. Like
Really?
literally, yeah. All types of
Damn.
men.
Is that like crazy to you? You're like, come on, just be honest.
I mean, I understand, but literally like if they're only there to sexualize, I pay dust to them, just like any other man.
Yeah.
You know? I'm only interested in men that are confident, they're gentlemen, they're willing to learn if they don't know. And I don't know, they know who they are, like without beating around the bush or just trying to make it sexual just because I'm trans. Like, no. And
Yeah.
being a trans woman is very much like over sexualized, especially because of like porn and all of that. Like
Yeah.
the trans category is like on top of a lot of things,
Really?
you know? Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's like it's extremely popular. And a lot of men find their attraction to trans women through like porn. Because they're like they see it and they cannot believe it.
Yeah.
And it turns them on and then they would go out in the world and look for that.
That's scary. I mean, for me, that's scary because, I mean, if you feel that as a man and then you see that and then you feel something, that's got to be scary. Because like, oh, shit, am I?
Right. And that's
Yeah.
why they mostly sexualize trans women. They're not going to be like, oh, let me take you on a date. Let me do these things. They go straight to sexual stuff, like sending dick pics and doing all these things, you know? But also, am I really going to hang out with the guy that over-sexualizes me and that doesn't even want to get to know me only for my body? Absolutely not. I have standards and morals, you know? But also, That's how a lot of men are.
Yeah.
Well, a category of men.
Yeah, no, it's 90% of men just want to have sex with a woman.
Right.
Instead of really looking into like, hey, do I like this person?
Yeah,
do I care about this person?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you know, a relationship is the most important thing you can have.
Right.
I've been with my girl for 10 years and it hasn't been easy, but we've learned so much from each other that sometimes I don't even, for the longest time, like when I'm at my peak of love with her, I don't even think about sex. I think about protection. How can I care about her? How can I what can I do for her to be happy? Right? Like if she has any stresses, that's what I care about.
And everything else is just exciting.
It's an addition. That it's just like, oh, cool. Like, you know, but what's the hardest thing about transitioning?
For me, it was like just my family seeing me for who I am. And I felt like whenever I came and show them who I was, like not telling them. I was over that because they didn't understand. So I was like, you know what?
Did you dress up and everything?
Yeah,
Really?
I did. But they didn't see. They couldn't accept that.
Dude, especially in a Latino household? Yeah. Oh my God. That would have been
they were mean.
Really?
Yeah.
What did they say?
No, they would say a lot of like mean things, like and slurs. And I used to be like, wow. But that's why I kind of like, I moved away and then I came back as myself. And they respect that. I mean, they had no other choice to, because I mean, you're not going to disrespect me to my face and I'm just going to take it because you're my family. Yeah. Like, no, I'm sorry. I feel like sometimes like trying to fit in, you want to please so many people that you end up forgetting about yourself. Dude. And that's the worst.
That's what I'm telling you, especially even on this show, man. I'm so outside the box. I feel like, you know, that's why I cut my hair like this, because, you know, nobody's doing it. And people always make fun of it. And I'm like, I just don't want to be the same as other podcasts or other people. Right. I hate being the same, you know? Yeah. I mean, I like just being me and whatever I feel and just being true about it. You know, that's 100% the life that you should live.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of, you know, in the future, of course, you're still young, raising a family? And
I would love to.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you afraid of what people are gonna say?
Like, no, I don't care what people have to say. I feel like I've cared so much since I was so young about what people's opinions were and what they had to say that like fucked me up in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like now as an adult, I'm like, you're not paying my bills, you're not benefiting me, so your opinion, I don't care. I don't care for it. Like, I'm very logical. Like, if I know that something comes natural to me and I know that it's not hurting no one, do you? I'm sure you have so many problems in your life that you might need to like deal with before you go and tell people how to live or what to do. Like, that's insane. So, yeah. And I get hate all the time. And I feel like if I focus on that, like, I would never be who I am. So,
how's the transsexual community in Utah? Because this is a very judgmental state.
Yeah, it is. I have a few like transsexual friends here.
Really?
Yeah. Obviously, there's not much. Like, I started performing as a showgirl here and mostly like doing like drag shows with it.
Yeah.
Because I never seen like a showgirl like that looks like me and does what I do, like be on a stage and be visible. Whenever I came here, I literally like, I knew no one that was trans. Like there was like no trans people in the state. Yeah. And obviously then I started like going to the gay clubs and like meeting like trans people because I feel like transsexual women, they would go to like gay clubs just to like relate and like maybe see people like them there, especially like states like this. Yeah. I feel like everyone around around Salt Lake City that has like so many small towns, they will come to Salt Lake City because it's more open, you know?
Do you think it's growing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Really? So much.
How fast?
Like
Like how
Like
much
people being open-minded and stuff like
yeah, no, like just the transition, the transsexual community.
Oh, I do feel like it's growing. I feel like
Mm.
people are more confident now to be like, yeah, like this is me and what about it? You
Yeah.
know? So I feel like it's growing. Like, I mean, it's good to be visible because people see you and they're like, oh yeah, that's what I want to be, or that's like who I am.
Yeah.
You know, instead of having like no representation at all and like trying to look for something, and in reality you don't find that because it's not around you.
Yeah.
You know?
What are your thoughts on LGBTQ?
I feel like the LGBT can try to be so inclusive that they forget like what we've been through and what we've had to do in order to like be accepted, you know, and be like empowered, you know. That's why like now I relate more to like being a transsexual and being more old school, because I feel like it defines, shows, and proves that I'm real. I'm
Yeah.
reality. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like you said, LGBTQ it's trying to conform and to be so welcoming that by
Right.
doing that, it's attacking the
It's
other side.
damaging,
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
damaging
Yeah.
the people who have been working really hard to just be a part of something for the longest time.
Yeah.
It's like pushing them away.
And I always see like on the media how sometimes like the trans topics are so like chaotic and so
Evil.
bad.
Yeah.
It's because of misrepresentation.
Yeah.
They're not gonna have like a normal like transsexual woman
Nah.
there talking about, oh yeah, I'm just a model.
They just want clicks, dude. They want clicks.
They're gonna have a big man in a dress talking about, oh, I'm doing girl sports now. Like
Yeah.
it's insane. So I feel like representation should be clear. It should be like with knowledge and things to back it up, you know, and maybe having a non-binary person speaking for transsexual people may not be the best option
It's
because
not.
it's two completely different lives. Transsexual people want to go from male to female or vice versa. And non-binary people, they can be a woman one day, they can be a man tomorrow, or they can be whatever they want, nothing and everything at the same time. And I feel like that's completely different than what people like myself go through.
Yeah.
You know?
Now that you know you're in a place where you know exactly who you are and you stand for everything that you believe and you speak about, when you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you think when you see that now?
I'm so beautiful. Like literally, like I may not be like happy like a fully.
None of us are, dude.
Because
None of us are.
no one is, but I am so confident and I'm so happy. Well, contradicting. I love contradicting myself, but no, I feel good. I feel beautiful. I feel like I can go outside and people can throw shit at me that I'm gonna flip my hair, literally.
Damn, okay, that's what's up.
I'm good. I'm in a good place in my life.
I've always been curious of if a transsexual person takes hormones, right?
Yes.
You are doing something to help you with what you believe is true, right?
Well, it does help you.
Yes,
like, it makes changes.
Is that
physically.
hard? Is that hard to know that you have to take some? Do you have to take this? Do you have to take hormones for the rest of your life?
Yes.
Is that hard to know that you have to take something to feel like this?
No, because I never would want to like detransition or stop taking hormones and then manly features come through and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
The gender dysphoria is gonna kick in.
Again, yeah, that would, damn.
So I inject myself every week, you know.
Are you afraid that one day, not right now, we change every year. We don't know what we want as humans. You know, I thought I was going to play professional soccer my whole life. At 21, I stopped. I thought I was going to do music my whole life. At 27, I stopped. Are you afraid that there's going to be a day when you're like, did I make a mistake?
No. No. Not personally.
Okay.
Like, I feel like, I don't know. No.
Hell yeah. That's what's up. You know what I mean? That I feel like I respect people who are all the way with what they believe in.
Yeah.
100%. Because it's not, who am I to tell you, oh, don't believe that.
Right.
I'm not in your brain. I'm not in your perception.
Right.
And having this conversation where we have different beliefs, but we're both trying to understand each other, it's what the world is missing.
Yeah.
And you being a transsexual person, it's not going to affect me.
No,
And
absolutely not.
me not, aligning with some of your beliefs, it's not going to affect you.
Right.
It's just a conversation that the world should have. Why am I going to bash on you when I know that karma's coming? So if I bash at you, somebody's going to bash me.
Right.
So it's like, why would I want that energy on me?
Yeah.
I am glad we had this conversation, and I'm glad that I got to get a small understanding of what you went through and what you're going through, because this is not going to stop.
No.
The world keeps going, and I'm excited to see what you become in 10 years. You could be the greatest showgirl in the world.
Oh, you'll see. Stay tuned.
Hell yeah. So I respect you. You are a very intellectual person. Not whatever, anything where people think you should be or you want to be. It's just a person.
Right.
You're a very intellectual human that you know what you want and you're working for that. And I respect that. And I'm very glad and I'm very appreciative that you would take your time to even come on this platform and share your story.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. This was really educational, you
Yeah.
know? And I feel like at least someone's going to take something from it. A lot of people may look at it and hate on it, and that's fine,
Yeah.
But at least someone's going to benefit themselves from it and just have knowledge. Knowledge
Yeah.
is so important.
Yeah, and my mission has always been since the start to have every different type of mentality on this show, even if I don't agree with it.
Right.
I have this dream maybe of having somebody who has killed somebody in this show and just try to understand, because I could never do that. I would do it if I need to,
Right.
like if to defend my family.
Right.
But people who do it as a game and things like that, that's crazy to me,
Yeah,
and
I want to know what goes into their mind.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy to me. And I'm like, I want to try to understand people, because that's the only way we can grow, understand each other.
I agree.
The moment I stop growing and trying to understand one another, that's when I will feel like I'm not being myself.
Right.
And I appreciate your time for sure.
Of course, that's awesome. I do appreciate what you do and
Thank you.
giving me a platform, especially have you met a trans person before or no?
No, it's my first time.
I love that.
Yeah,
so I feel like this is good and this
Yeah.
is positive, you know what I mean? Which I appreciate. Not everyone needs to think the same way. And
it's funny. I was, the reason why I always wanted to have a trans person on this show was because I was like everybody else. I was just like, well, that's fucking weird. But then I was like, why do I feel like this? Because society's telling me.
right.
It's like, I don't like that. So I'm in love with my girl. I don't have any different desires. So I'm like, nah, fuck that. I don't want to go with that group of people. I want to
Yeah.
be myself. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna get somewhere in here and try to understand instead of bashing them.
Yeah.
So I hope a lot of people do, get a lot of acknowledgement of this. Get a lot of knowledge that not every trans person is the same. Especially in the media,
Right.
that
Yeah.
they're just trying to get clicks. They want that negativity for other trans people to get triggered or whatever.
Right.
And it's
It's
just
harming,
yeah. It's just the thing that dude. The reason why I want so much different perceptions and so much different people on this show is because I want to know that social media right now with the clicks and negativity, it's dividing us. Instead of doing what we always should have been doing since the beginning of time, it's coming together and trying to understand each other.
Yeah.
Since the beginning of time, people used to sit down in a circle and speak to each other. But somewhere along the way, we started having rumors about people, talking behind their back
Mhm.
and just bashing on them. And then that's what created different towns and people fighting and wars and all of these things. And at the end of the day, it's like, how can we come together and try to be in a common ground? Because the more divided we are, the people at the top
Yeah.
are the ones who win when that happens.
Yeah. And the bigger the misinformation is.
Oh,
and
yeah. I think you should just do research. Actually go, like you said, you read a book.
Experience for yourself.
Yeah.
Make your own decisions.
Exactly.
Don't go with the crowd just because that's what you've been taught or like have to grow up to be, you know? I feel like individuality is so important.
Oh, dude.
And just being like true to yourself. Like if you want to know something, go there and learn it. Go there and like experience it and then make your own decisions.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's why, dude, at the end of the day, that's why I did this episode. It was like a little flex of like, I'm not afraid of shit. You know what I mean? I don't care. I don't
afraid of me. Look at me.
No. I'm not afraid of what I'm like, afraid of what people are going to say.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like so many people are so scared, dude. I want to have those topics that it's like, what the hell are you doing? Mm-hmm. You know, and it's like, I want to have those topics that are uncomfortable. Because I'm not going to lie, it felt a little uncomfortable. It was just like, what are we going to speak about? Like, am I going to cross the line or whatever, you know? And that's very important because I bet when you decided to come out to your family, that was very uncomfortable. But that conversation was needed to have.
Right.
You know, you need this conversation, especially in Utah, dude. Yeah. Utah, I feel like it's growing, but because it's growing so fast, people are not being able to adjust quick enough.
True.
You know, so I'm happy for you. You know?
All right.
Thank you. Thank you for being a part of the Maikon show.
Okay.
Is that what you guys do? Is that?
Yeah, just
No,
everything. Thank you so much for having me. It's been good.
Oh yeah.
I cannot wait to see it.
And to you guys, you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're right here with us right now with Barbin and your host, Maikon. Barbin, I'm on a mission. I've been working hard because I want to get Post Malone on the show someday.
You will.
Ooh, hell yeah, let's go. You know, I have this manifest dream that I want to have everybody who was a part of the show and have Post Malone next to me and tell him everyone in the audience was told that you were going to be here.
Oh, I love
and
that.
record.
So I'm going to be in it.
Hell yeah. And,
I love
and that's why I love Post Malone because he's so welcoming. You know Post Malone. He loves everybody. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's what I feel like the world's missing, love. You know, and that's why I want to have him on and just speak about things he's been through and just have that energy around here. You know,
I feel like you'll have him.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm positive.
Oh, and
just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, it might be episode 1305, but it's gonna happen. I love the chase. I'm like, ooh, I want to get this because it's fun.
Yeah.
You know, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Will.
And one more thing. I've been saying this, Barbin, left and right. Nobody listens to me, you know? It's like the world's going to shit. You know, I'm like, come on, people, please. From the bottom of my heart, stop cheating. There's a lot of cheating going on.
Yes.
Yeah, how's cheating in the transsexual community?
Well, just like any other like relationships, like people cheat all the time.
Oh, dude, it's sad.
It depends the person that you're connecting with, you know? And are you going to pick them or are you going to pick like random people that might bring that, you know? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and hurting other people is the worst thing you can do because...
Yeah, be straight up forward.
Yeah, just...
Straight up forward. Is that something?
You gotta be straight up forward.
I feel like I literally, like, I think in one language and it comes out the other.
I'm always like, shit, I should have said that like that, you know?
No, but yeah, like, be more straightforward.
Yeah.
I feel like that's, like, essential, you know? I feel like people get caught up in, like, trying to be something they're not.
Yeah.
And trying to, like, just get something by following certain steps. And that's not cute.
Yeah, no. And that's why I made this shirt. You know what I mean?
Stop cheating.
This is my statement that I stand on. Stop cheating. And not just stop cheating on the relationship, stop cheating on yourself. You know, there's a lot of cheating going on when it comes to yourself. People are not being themselves. You know, they say they're going to go to the gym. They don't go to the gym. They say they're going to follow a dream. They don't follow a dream. They say they're going to start a new career. They don't do it. You got to stop cheating.
That's so true.
You know, so yeah. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. You know, this was a great time with the ASMR. But yeah, love you guys. Go to sleep early and drink water, please.
Bye.
Peace out. Yo, that was dope. Yo,
Fun.
This is like
You with your
And it's because I do like a special effect where it's like pa, you know,
okay,
that's
here.
it, pa, you know. Thank you, dude. That was awesome.
This was fun.
Thank you. Yeah.